The aim of this video is to give you an overview of the features of the NetLanguages platform and show you how the internal mail and the admin section work. You will see how to correspond with your students using the mail program, how to check student progress and input marks for tutorials, and how to set up your tutor profile. First, I'll sign in as a tutor with a username and password, and this is what you see as a tutor. As you can see, here we have different tabs. The Administration tab, where we currently are, the My Courses tab, where you can see the different courses that you have access to, the My Documents tab, which is where you can see support documents with information and guides for the platform and the courses you are using. And finally, the My Resources tab, which shows the tools and resources that students have access to. Okay, so as tutors, you will mostly be using the Administration section. This is where you come to input students' tutorial marks and also to see how a student or a group of students is progressing. To see this information on the student, you first need to search for the student. To do that, you click on View Registered Users, which opens these search options. As you can see, we can search using a name, surname, a username, password, etc. Students can also be organized in user groups. So, for example, in the category of NetLanguages, we could have different user groups if you are tutoring groups working in different organizations or companies. Then those students can be grouped together to make it easier for you to find them and also to export reports. We can also filter results by selecting specific courses and levels if need be. So we enter the name of a student we are looking for, in this case a demo student for the purpose of this demonstration, and then click on Continue, and the student details appear below. And then we see the student listed along with these tick boxes. The first box, View Only Users with Unexpired Courses, is only going to be relevant if, for example, at the end of a course, a student's access codes have expired, but you need information about the student. Normally, you will only want to be seeing your active students, in which case you tick this box, View Only Users with Unexpired Courses. The next box is View Sessions, so if we click on that and then on Continue, we see the times each student has spent on each unit. So for this student, we can see the following information. If you want to see more detailed information, like the time spent on each section of the course, you can click on Session Details, this small clock icon here, and we see a list by date showing the different sections and time spent. Also along here, we can see exercise scores, so a score for every exercise the student has completed in the course. This is useful to see at a glance what a student has done, where the student is currently working in the unit. There's quite a lot of information on the screen, so you can click on Hide Other Details to reduce the information that you see. Okay, so as you saw in the previous videos, the courses contain writing and speaking tutorials. In the General English courses, for example, there are 2 writing tutorials and 1 speaking tutorial. So, once you have received a writing tutorial from the student and given feedback and a mark, you will need to input the mark on the platform. To do this, you tick the View Marksheet box and then click on Continue. Here you can see the test scores and also where you enter the tutorial marks. Tutorial 1 out of 10 and Tutorial 2 out of 20. So imagine after receiving a student's Tutorial 1 writing, you decide to give a mark of 7 out of 10. You enter the mark, 7 out of 10, and then click on Apply. And then, for example, you receive Tutorial 2 and award a mark of 16 out of 20. Once more, you enter the mark and click on Apply. And the same goes for the speaking tutorials, which are marked out of 20. As you can see, in the speaking tutorial section, you also have the option of ticking Missed Class or Cancelled Too Late. The normal procedure is that if a student has to cancel a class after confirming it with the tutor, this should be done up to 24 hours before the agreed tutorial time. Some students do find that they have to cancel a tutorial at the last minute or forget that they have a tutorial, in which case you can mark the tutorial as being missed or cancelled too late. However, we do recommend a certain amount of flexibility, taking into account unforeseen things that can occur. Once the marks are recorded on the platform, the students will see them on the pie charts on the welcome page of their course. Finally, if I click on the yellow arrow here, I see the student's view of the course. This is exactly what the student sees when he or she logs into the course material. This page is locked, so you can't actually change any of the information here. As you can see, here we have the pie charts showing progress in the course. For example, the mark for the writing tutorials that we recorded just before on the platform. With this student's view of the course, we can see exactly what the student has been doing. For example, if a student mentions a particular problem or query, you can enter the course this way to see what the problem is. You can see exactly what the student has done and try to help them out. To return to the admin mode, click on Disconnect and Switch User. And that takes me back to this page where we were previously. Another feature on the platform which you might want to use is the Create Report feature. So maybe you'd like to create a report on a group of students in a usable format. So to create a report, first you need to select a course. You can only select one course type at a time. So we select a course and then click on Continue. Then we see the information on the students below and can click on Create Report. This window then appears, and here we can choose the type of report that we want. The first type is a progress report, showing how the students are progressing through the course material, with the test results and the tutorial marks, and a summary of the time each student has spent on the course. You can also select a report to show completion as a percentage, showing how much of a unit the student has done, or as a fraction of the total number of exercises. For example, 45 out of a total of 50 exercises. It's up to you which options you choose here for your reports. The second kind of report, feedback forms, requests a report on the feedback forms. Remember that at the end of each unit, there's a feedback form that the students can fill in, giving feedback on what they thought of the unit they have just completed. This information is stored on the platform, but can also be requested here and exported. Okay, once you have made your selections, you can click on Start to generate your report. You can see by this green bar that the report is ready, and I can download it now and save it on my computer. I'll just open the document, and you can see what the report contains. The name of the student, username and password, the level, the start and end date of the course, the name of the tutor, and any other information about the student that is registered on the platform, like a telephone number. The telephone number is very useful to have. For example, if for a corporate client you see that students haven't begun to work through the material or contacted the tutor, we can phone the student to ask if there is some kind of problem. Scrolling along the report, you can see the tutorial marks, the results of the tests, and then the percentage completion for each unit. Obviously, you can adapt the report to suit your requirements by deleting any columns that are of no use to you. Add in any comments that you have and save the document on your computer. Good. Now, moving on, you will notice that in the top menu here, we have the My Profile tab. This is where the student can see their tutor's profile, a photo, a short description, and contact information. In the tutor profile, we include information about your teaching experience and work, so showing that you are a professionally trained English language teacher, and then something about where you were from, your interests and background, adding the element of human interest to the course. The secret to the success of online language courses relies heavily on the building up of rapport between the student and the teacher. This makes the experience of online learning much more satisfying and effective. And it also adds to the motivation. As you are working closely with the student feels more of an obligation to progress with the course and not to let you down. As you can see, we include the telephone number for the speaking tutorials, as well as the Skype address for students who prefer to conduct their speaking tutorials on Skype, the preferred teaching tool, as you have the added support of the webcam and chat window, which are very useful for speaking tutorials. So, click on Edit to copy in your text and upload your photo, and then save the changes. Once the profile is completed, the student can see it by clicking on My Tutor. However, if the profile is not completed, the My Tutor link does not appear for the student. The next thing that we will look at is the mail program. This is the internal mail program on the platform, which is used for all communication between you and your students. Students are organised in folders by course and also level. They can also be organised so that all the students of a particular project can be displayed together. Let's look at the demo student whose course we saw previously. So, if we look in General English, elementary level folder, here is the demo student. And as you can see, there are no messages as yet. But imagine the student is just starting the course and I'm sending a welcome message to introduce myself and send the student information about the course. To do this, I click on New Message or on the pencil icon here to open up the message. And I can write in the subject, "Hello from your tutor," and then I can write the message. And you can see here the attachments button, which I can click on to search for a document to send as an attachment. For example, we suggest that students send in their writing tasks in a Word document, and for tutors also to send their feedback in the same way, so that you can use formatting to make your feedback and corrections as clear and useful as possible. However, that is up to you and the student to decide what system works best for you. Once the message is ready, we send it, and we can see here that it has been sent, showing the date and time. Both sent and received messages appear in this window, so it's easy for you to keep track of the correspondence with the student. In the event that you want to send all of your students the same message, for example, a "How are you getting on?" message, you can select all the students in the contact list, deleting any that you don't want to send the message to, and then click on Send to All to send the message to the students you have selected. Also, down here in the Technical Support section, you can send and receive messages from the technical support team. Now I will log in as a student to show you what the student sees when the tutor sends a message. Okay, so now I'm logged in as a student, and we can see this red dot and the number 1 in the Mail tab, which indicates that there is one unread mail message in the NetLanguages mail program. Also, if the student's external email address has been recorded in the student's details, they will also receive a notification at the end of each day to say that they have unread mail in their NetLanguages platform. So, the student opens their mail program and sees your message, and then hopefully replies to it. And then sends the message. Now, if we log back in as a tutor, we can see this message from the student. So again, here I see the red dot to say that I have a new message. When I open the mail program, I also see a number next to the student's name, showing that I have an unread message from this student. This is useful when you have a lot of students, and it makes it possible for you to see what messages have been received and need to be dealt with. That's the administration section. Next, we have the My Resources section, which contains the useful tools and resources available in all NetLanguages courses. A text-to-speech tool and translation tool you saw demonstrated in the General English video. A Record Yourself tool for students to record themselves and save sound files. An online dictionary. A searchable grammar reference. A business center with useful business language tips and writing templates, a direct link to the translation tool, an interactive pronunciation tool showing the phonemic chart, sounds, word examples, examples in sentences and contrasting sounds, Interactive English, a monthly resource for students based on a news story with language focus and a recorded discussion on the topic of the story. This is available at 3 levels: basic, intermediate, and advanced. The Fun and Games section, containing flashcard games practicing collocations, pronunciation, and vocabulary. We looked at the forum resource in the General English video. The audio speed control, which students can use to slow down the speed on the audio player. And finally, the additional resources section with useful links to more resources and materials online. The next item on this top menu is the My Preferences tab, where you can customize the color and look of the course materials. In the Help section, you have technical information, which automatically checks that your computer has the necessary software installed to run the NetLanguages materials, as well as system requirements and a list of recommended browsers, along with a link to the NetLanguages support team for those having technical problems. You will also have the option of changing your password if you don't like the one that you've been assigned. When you are logged in, you also have direct links to administration, My Courses, the courses that are assigned to you as a tutor, My Documents, where you can find the PDF guides, the platform guide, and the tutor's manuals. In the tutor's manual, you can quickly access a summary of what a unit contains, the tutorial tasks for the unit, a brief description of what to focus on when giving feedback, as well as assessment criteria. At the pre-elementary and elementary levels, both students and tutors are provided with a script for speaking tutorials to give the low-level students scaffolding and support as they do the tutorial. As you can see, marking guidelines and assessment criteria are also included for each speaking tutorial. Finally, the My Resources tab shows descriptions and links to the resources and tools that we looked at previously. And that brings us to the end of this video on the NetLanguages platform, tools and resources.